Here with head men's basketball coach Blake Mellinger of UVA Wise. Coach, you guys getting ready for another non-conference game coming up on Wednesday night against Carolina University, formerly Piedmont International, the last time you guys faced them in 2019. But we did start the conference season already. Saturday against Wingate was our first doubleheader of the season with the men's and women's. Women's playing first, men's playing second. Both teams lose by 2 in very close games. You guys were up in the first half, and that game took a halftime lead into the break, up late in the second half, and then Wingate kind of came back through that second half. They had a little bit of a run, towards the middle stages of it. You guys ultimately lose by 2 points. I know you and I talked post-game about the rebounding, and they had 15 offensive rebounds in that game, and that was the stat you really highlighted for that game in particular. But kind of stepping further back and looking at the first 6 games of this season, you and I have discussed a number of different areas where the team you'd like to see them improve, whether it's defense, whether it's not turning the ball over, whether it's rebounding more. What's been the focus in practice? What was it after that Wingate game that you guys are really kind of tailoring to this matchup on Wednesday?
Blockouts, for sure. I mean, we spent the majority of our practice day yesterday working on just that in a variety of different fashions and different scenarios. Saturday it stung quite a bit because, looking back at the film, they outscored us 19-4 on second chance points. And I didn't think they out physicaled us or out athleted us on the offensive glass. I just thought we didn't execute our blockouts at all. So that's something that's, it's a fundamental thing. It's a discipline thing. Ultimately, it falls on me more than anybody to hold those guys accountable to that. So, that's an area where I feel like we'll be much better moving forward. And then the other side was the turnovers. The turnovers, like, they're frustrating, but at the same time, they don't bother me as much because I don't think we're turning the ball over out of selfishness. I think we're playing a little too fast at the times, so the game's a little too sped up in different moments and different scenarios where we're just not making the reads that we need to make quite yet. I think we have guys that are willing to share the basketball. I think for us on that side, it's just more of seeing plays and seeing the game a little better in a couple different scenarios.
So one thing you and I talked about before the Wingate game was Donnell Nixon II. 21 point per game score, their main guy, short, quick guard, can shoot it as well. You guys held him to 2 points in that first half, and I don't think he scored his third and fourth points until about midway through the second half. He ends up scoring 14 second half points, finishes as the leading scorer in the game, and the guarding against him was really good in that first half and early in the second, but it just didn't last the full 40 minutes. How do you get the guys, whoever it is on him at any given moment, to be able to guard for 40 straight minutes and really shut down a guy like you guys almost did in that game?
Yeah, I think in terms of the matchup, we really did shut him down. If you go back and look at the tape, like the open looks he got in the second half were most of them were off like missed rotations when we like crushed the post or just a missed defensive assignment. It wasn't necessarily the guys that were assigned to guard him. A lot of his made buckets were like a scramble situation where we trapped the post and they found him on a kick out and we didn't rotate on the backside. Like more scenarios like that. I actually think Z did a really, really good job on him along with Kalen when he came into the game. So, I think you got to give those guys credit, and from that aspect, I think it was more of a defense thing that allowed him to get the open looks there in the middle part of the second half.
And despite the struggles with rebounding in that game, the 15 offensive rebounds that they had, one person in particular you've mentioned wanting to see better rebounding from is Joel Pettiford, and he was much better in that game, had 9 rebounds, one of the best that he's had in his career in a game. The first time we've really seen a big rebounding performance from him this season through 6 games. Just what was, your thoughts on his particular rebounding?
No, I did. I think he did a good job. And like I said, after the game, I think that's a trend that we hope that will continue because he's just so physical and he's so athletic. Like when he sets his mind to it, like it's really hard for opposing teams to keep him off the offensive or defensive glass. I thought his blockouts individually were pretty solid. On the defensive end, I thought the areas where we got hurt were like our wing positions, wings coming in and getting their hands on balls and tipping them out to other players. But, I think, again, I think as time goes on, as the season goes along, like he's going to get more and more comfortable with just playing basketball again. And, those performances, I think, will be more consistent.
The Carolina University comes in tomorrow night, Wednesday at 7:00. This is another school similar to Johnson and Wales, not a part of your stereotypical athletic conference, assigned to a certain divisional level. They're part of the NCCAA, the National Christian College Athletic Association, a kind of a group that allows small Christian colleges to play at an intercollegiate level and have, national competitions and whatnot. They got their season started really early, back in late October. They've played 8 games already. Just 1-7 are the Bruins on this season. What have you seen on film? What have you seen in some of the numbers that you think can help lead to a win tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to defend the 3-point line, even though they're not shooting a great percentage from the 3-point line right now. Over 60% of their shots are coming from the perimeters, which means that, they think they have guys that are very capable of making them, and they may very well. So that, I think that's the big emphasis. They're trying to play fast. They're trying to press. So we've got to handle their pressure. Quite honestly, we've had a couple of hiccups in that area here early in the season. So, I think those are the two most important things. Defend the 3-point line, handle their pressure, don't turn the ball over. And then again, like a team that's going to take a lot of threes, there's going to be a lot of long rebounds. So we've got to, again, do our job on the glass, track those rebounds down. And if we do that, that's going to allow us to get out and play in transition and kind of play the way we want to. We should be fine.
And one final question about conference opener Saturday, non-conference on Wednesday. Then you've got your first conference road game next Saturday against Limestone. Just for people who aren't around the sport and haven't really kind of maybe handled that situation, is it difficult going kind of flip-flopping back and forth? We're in that part of the schedule where there's a few conference games played, a few non-conference still left to finish. Is that difficult for you or your guys to handle, or do you think it's just kind of, here's the game today and here's who we have to beat today, and we'll worry about tomorrow?
Yeah, not really. I mean, the most important game on our schedule is always the next game, no matter who you're playing, whether it's a conference game or not. So, we put all of our energy and our focus into that opponent and, trying to prepare ourselves as best as we can for whoever the next opponent is, and then just kind of move on from there.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Cavs and Bruins, 7:00 at the Pryor Center. You can catch it there in person or on Flow Sports. Coach, we will see you then. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.